All right, so how are we going to do that integral? Didn't I tell you guys that it would be better for you to work these out on a separate piece of paper? Didn't I say that? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I see like Billy's got all, there's no way we can do all that. And Carrie's got it all crammed on it. I just wanted to make sure I said it. Like, just trying to help you out. How do you do that integral? Part by parts. Yeah. Yeah, man. You got to know how to do integration by parts. I'm going to do it the fast way. Now, last period, they really struggled with knowing how to do that antiderivative on the right side. They had a hard time doing the part within the integration by parts. What's the antiderivative of e to the negative 1/2 x? Well, the way we do that, if we don't know, is we think of that as a little u sub. U is 1/2 x, or negative 1/2 x. Du is negative 1/2 dx. 2 du is dx. Negative 2. So that's e to the u, negative 2 du. So the antiderivative of e to the negative 1/2 x is negative 2 e to the 1/2 x. And then what's the antiderivative of x? We got to do it again. Positive 4 e to the negative 1/2 x. Because it would be another negative 2, it would make positive 4. So now here's my antiderivative. It's negative 2x e to the negative 1/2 x minus 4 e to the negative 1/2 x. Okay? And then I'm going to evaluate that from 1 to infinity. But before I evaluate that, okay, anytime you're doing these integral test problems, you typically don't want to have negative exponents. It's better if you stack things as fractions, because then you're going to understand behavior, infinite behavior, a little bit better. So if I rewrite this, isn't this right here the same as negative 2x over e to the 1/2 x? Yeah? And isn't this 4 over e to the 1/2 x? Now evaluate that from 1 to infinity. Okay? So here we go. When I evaluate it at the lower bound at 1, that's going to be fine, right? It's the infinity that's the potential problem. What happens if I evaluate this piece right here as x goes to infinity? What is that piece that I circled in orange doing? It's going to 0. Okay, which is good. Or converging is good. Now what about this as x goes to infinity? What's that going to approach? It's also going to approach 0. Now why? So you're doing L'Hopital's rule in your head. You're saying that's bottom heavy, right? That's fine. If you were to actually do L'Hopital's rule, you would have gotten this. The derivative of the top is 2. The derivative of the bottom is 1/2 e to the 1/2 x. Oh, now I see it's going to 0 because it's really bottom heavy. Okay? So as x goes to infinity, this term's going to 0, that term's going to 0. So the whole thing's going to go to 0 as x goes to infinity. And then you're just going to left with whatever constant's hanging on there in the end. Right? So what does this integral do? Converges. So therefore the series converges by the integral test. Right? But yeah, integration by parts, man. Got to know that. In the world. Yeah, I don't know. You just can't like study for something for the day before the test and think, oh yeah, I studied really hard for that, and then I got a decent grade on that test, and now I move on. No, that's not how it works. It's like, oh, I'm going to practice really hard the day before the game. How we good? No, it doesn't work that way, does it? Doesn't. Yeah. What about number 5? Number 5. Number 5. Number 5. Isn't that the same thing as this? Yeah. You actually don't have to use the integral test on this. So we will, because it said to. That series converges. Because isn't this the same thing as that? So that last one, you see why that converges when it's written like that? Why does that converge when it's written like that? Isn't that geometric? But we said use the integral test, so we'll do it. Dag on it. Just because we got to practice anti-differentiating, apparently. So what's the antiderivative of e to the negative x? Negative e to the negative x. Which, it's always better to write it like this, friendies. It's always better to write that like as a fraction, not as a negative exponents, but write them stacked. So, as x goes to infinity, is that going to converge or diverge? Converges, right? I mean, this is negative 1 over e to the infinity minus negative 1 over e. Converges. Therefore, the series converges by the integral test. Woo, doggy. What's next? What's next? What's next? So on number 6, you actually had to figure out that the series was this. Didn't you? Are the terms going to 0 in that series? Are the terms going to 0? What I'm asking you is the answer to that 0? Do we know the answer to that? Can you find the answer to that? How would you find the answer to that? You all should know how. How would you find the answer to that? Can you just plug in infinity? Infinity in the numerator, infinity in the denominator. Infinity over infinity. Oh, no, that doesn't work. So how do you compute that limit? You guys need to know how to do this. What? L'Hopital's rule. L'Hopital's rule? Okay, so do L'Hopital's rule. So if you did L'Hopital's rule, you get that. What's the answer to that? Zero over one or zero. So the terms are going to zero. What does that tell you?
Necessarily.
The terms are going to zero. It tells you nothing. It doesn't tell you diddly schniddly. Right? But this, friends, like that computation shouldn't be hard for us. Okay, our next test that we're going to learn, you're going to have to do a lot of limits like that. A lot. Okay? We got to be able to do that.
Realize that natural log of n is going to be slower.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that in class on multiple times, that natural log is slower than x. We did it, like if you graph natural log, it looks like this, and y equals x looks like that. I mean, that one's always below that one. Okay? But anyway, we said use the integral test, so we're going to do the integral test. So how do you do that integral? So this is u squared over 2, or natural log of x squared over 2, evaluate from 2 to infinity. Does that converge or diverge? It diverges. So this diverges, so what's the series do? He diverges. So we got all those integrals done. So all the integral tests at the top, they were u subs mostly. They were all u subs except one, and that was in one integration by particle, right? Okay, what about the ones at the bottom? So we didn't do the two at the bottom, right? Number 1 and number 2 at the bottom. So what about this one? You're going to do the integral test on this. You're going to do the integral test on this. This is also a u sub. So u is natural log. The u is 1 over x. So this is 1 over u cubed du. Antiderivative of 1 over u cubed. That's the same as u to the negative 3. So that's negative 1/2 u to the negative 2. Or negative 1/2 times 1 over u squared. Does that converge or diverge? This x goes to infinity. What's going to happen to that? It's going to go to 0. That, well, at least that part right there. And then the 1 part we can deal with. Actually, no, it wasn't 1. I think it started at 2, didn't it? Yeah. You know how I knew it wasn't 1? Because natural log of 1 is undefined. So this converges. Therefore, this converges. Yeah.
So I messed this up and accidentally wrote down n equals 1. So if we didn't have something like that, would it be does not exist? Just like it converges or whatever?
You wouldn't have the problem.
Okay.
Like it would. I would never. If you had that, it would be by mistake. Because the terms of the series have to exist in order for that to work. Like an easy, same idea on this one. If this series accidentally started at n equals 1 instead of 2, it wouldn't. The series. I mean, we wouldn't even be having the discussion. You know what I mean? It just would.
So, like,
If the problem isn't possible, it's not possible.
If it is a different possible thing, should we just say do not make this impossible?
Yeah, I mean, or just you ask the teacher. I think this is a typo. Like, I mean, I'm not going to intentionally give you one that's not possible. Okay. The terms have to be able to be defined in order for you to have a series. So if we were going to do that reducing game again, what do you think this one's going to do based off of the reducing game? We'll work it out. But what do you think this one's going to do based off of the reducing game? How does that reduce? Quote unquote, reduce. What do you think, Mia? 1 over n squared, because the square root of n squared is n times n is n squared. So this guy is going to behave like 1 over n squared. And what does 1 over n squared do? Converges, because it's p series. So I'm going to predict that this one converges. Okay? It does. When we do this integral test, okay, when we do the integral test, that antiderivative it's not easy. You'd have to integrate by parts, or not by parts, by trig sum. Okay? But I will tell you, when I made up this sheet a few years back, the students were required to know this antiderivative by heart. It's an inverse trig function. It's inverse secant. If you do the trig sub, that's what you're going to end up getting. Okay? So when I do this from 2 to infinity, I have the inverse secant of infinity minus the inverse secant of 2. Now the inverse secant of 2 is a number. It's actually equivalent to the inverse cosine of what? The inverse secant of 2 is the same as the inverse cosine of 1/2. What? Oh yeah, that makes sense. They're reciprocals of each other. So inverse cosine of 1/2 we know is pi over 3, so that's cool. Inverse secant of infinity, though. What we're saying is where's the secant undefined? Which is equivalent to saying where's the cosine equal to 0? Pi over 2. So this is pi over 2, this is pi over 3, this converges. Not cove. Converges. So he converges. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to learn how this why this reducing rule. You know how when we sort of reduce, We're gonna learn why that works. But before we do that, we're gonna have a quiz over all of the tests that you've learned so far.
Will it be laid out like this worksheet where it's like solve this using this as your happy?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you can look at it and tell me, I don't know that I want to penalize you completely for that, but I want to make sure that you understand what the tests were. And it's not going to be real lengthy, because we don't have enough time for you to take a 45-minute quiz. I guess that's all. See you tomorrow.
It's like, so there's an endless problem. That's the first one. Have to look down into gravity. And, like, you know, you just have to, gravity's only a 4 second on it. It's a really hard problem to do. It's impossible.
Oh.
Also, they use dots instead of, like, prime notation. Is that just another notation?
You mean like this?
Who's above it? But
Yeah. That actually was the notation that Newton used originally for like different derivatives.
I feel like it might be easier sometimes when you're doing a lot of like the fifth grade or something.
Yeah, because, well, and what we start doing when we get to the fifth derivative is actually going like that. Not prime, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Just like half your page, commas, or whatever.
My mom made me started reading the book, and she was like, I'm not going to shut up.
Yeah, I know, I can have all those spoilers. I'm so tempted to like go on that and then try to rip it around because I can't wait. I know.
Yeah. Hey, Billy,
Yeah.
are you ready for the bio test today?
Did you test?
Yeah. We turn in the guided reading and then we do the test, right? Oh my god.
People that pass the bio test are the scary people.
Oh my god, I was walking with Chris earlier, and so we have to like go to Meyer to get something for our German project, and we were talking about like when we could do that. And I was like, would today work? And he was like, I think I have something after school. I know it's important, but I can't remember what it is. And I was like, do you have work? And he was like, oh my fucking god, I have work. It's important, but I don't know. Like, it's important, but I can't really remember what it is.
My favorite thing that happened on Friday was this. Chris taught me in the hallway. He held his hand like this to shake my hand, and I did this. Like, that's not the right way. And I'm like, oops.
I like you. I can't help but good brush.
Yes, from the 2 raspberries.
Apparently, we have Grace didn't know about air testing. Sucks to be them. These parties are immaculate. What size of the brakes are like soft? I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm not fine. Because my lunch is delicious. And I have a lunch. So I can start with What's up, guys? What's up, homies?
Yo.
We're super excited for lunch today.
Yeah.
Chicken sticklets.
Yup.
Chicken nuggets?
No.
Sticklets.
Chicken sticklets.
Chicken fingers.
No.
Small
Are your
pieces.
fingers not fat? No, they're not. Those are not big pieces.
I mean,
I
my
don't
finger.
know.
Sorry, I can't imagine.
What? Why do you have so many?
Exactly.
Never mind.
That's what the
I thought the
no,
nut,
chicken fingers.
The pretzel was another one.
Give me a water bottle.
Oh yes. Oh,
I want chicken tenders so bad.
Too bad.
then go through the
Come to
lunch
lunch
line.
with us. Reading with Rudy again later.
I don't want like the
Thank
schools.
you.
Okay.
Well then, quit being so picky.
They're not that bad.
You're never gonna be happy if you
I
have
want like
such standards.
no, I want like the specific like crunch of the shell, with the breaded shell and like a specific just. I want fritters.
I haven't had fritters since I
Hey,
was.
Mom, he was
I only go to Frickers after like G-Walk.
We went to fritters together.
It was after. Oh,
It
it's
was
after
after
Sydney.
Sydney.
I would also go then.
I remember.
Bro, fuck Sydney. Okay, that
The Sydney Y is
hate that
shit, dude.
pool. It's like a bathtub.
It really
There's
is.
literal tile on the bottom of the pool. What? I don't know the level of it. No, seriously. And it's shallow, and there's like currents through the pool.
Yeah, and when you go one way, it's cold.
Yeah,
and you go the other
the
way,
other
it's
is hot.
warm.
It's
It doesn't
weird.
make sense.
It
And
makes
it
no
only has
sense.
like
yeah.
5 lanes.
And they're narrow.
And they're tiny.
And the
Right.
walls, it's like 3 feet deep over the walls. Like I bang my head off the wall.
Yeah, can't be doing any back rest flip turns on that side.
No.
Oh look, there's a crunch.
It's not the right crunch though.
Chicken stick. Is that
You
actually
saw-
what they're called? Yes. No.
No, Joe called them.
No, he's trying to trick me. I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just trying to teach you the facts. Deception. What?
Every time I walk.
Little sticks of chicken. So they are chicken sticks.
Joe, Emily, and sometimes
Waldo?
Wally.
I'm always there.
When you're not, the first time you were not there.
You just dazed and confused. Yeah, because we used to do
Because
it.
you're throwing balls outside.
Yeah.
Joe has been throwing the ball at me. Wally threw it at me the other day.
There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
hallway in this now. I was like, Charlie, catch it.
It's not funny. Joe actually almost hit me.
Yeah, we were walking by and I was like, it's how I bullied Charlie. And I was like, wait, I hope it doesn't actually get bullied because it's actually kind of me.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to imagine other people seeing throwing a ball at someone walking. It's not mean to me, but like, man.
Why do I? I'm so messy. I can't. I was eating in business and I got through my face and then I kept eating on my mask. And they were like, I wouldn't notice and I would talk or something, it would touch my lip, like wet.
Yeah, bad.
Leo, stop giving us work. We all have senioritis. We're not gonna do it.
I looked at my English today and I was like, what are we doing for the rest of the year? And she said, nothing. I signed last day and did nothing.
Who did how?
Man.
Oh, I know. Miss Taylor gave us a senioritis survey. She was like, yeah, good. It's like 3 questions, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, same with us. Like, no one does anything but Stacey gave us a survey. It was like, what's the best book, or what book you read through high school had the best plot twist?
Mr. McGarvey gave us that too, and I did not do it.
I did it.
read like half the book.
I did it, but I didn't realize that it was supposed to be books that like you've been assigned to read in high school. So I just did books that I've read.
Good job, Mom.
I didn't read it.
At least you did the survey.
What's his name? Language was-
Whoa, don't spoil, haven't read it.
Shut up.
What I I put that in one of the worst books.
Just
that
about
I've
all
ever
of the-
read.
Yeah, he gave us
All of the
survey that was
Fairmont,
just
like, assigned reading.
Yeah. I've read a few.
I read the like freshman and sophomore ones, but then after that I didn't take English here, so I didn't.
I didn't read it. It's great.
I had great
No, it was
expectations.
great.
Tom
You didn't
Sawyer
take- I did
and
not take
To Kill a Mockingbird.
Take it from
I
somewhere.
love To Kill a
I
Mockingbird. I love that book.
To Kill a Mockingbird lights a rage inside of me that
Why?
because it's a white savior novel. and
I didn't read it.
Like that's not how they teach it. They don't teach it as a white savior novel,
That's true.
and that's what pisses me.
Well, I love the book. I read the book freshman year before we were popular. We read, I think Antigone was my least favorite thing ever.
I hated
slept
Romeo
through
and Juliet, like I actually hated it.
I can't stand
Which
it.
one?
Antigone's like, what?
Antigone.
Antigone
I hated
is
it.
long.
Okay, it was
I hated
fine.
it. I just can't comprehend any of that bullshit. Especially when it's like,
I preferred reading Antigone over reading Oedipus.
Oedipus, I don't even. Oedipus.
I don't think we
It
were.
sucked, that's all you need to know. It sucked.
Does anyone read the play?
What?
What play?
Yeah, musical. What's the musical this year?
What is it?
I don't know.
Oh, that's so
I just
cool,
started
thank
doing
you.
Kid Orchestra.
I am not doing it.
Why would we?
I'm the lead.
Imagine being a nerd like that.
I had
can't.
fun, and I don't.
You like math.
Oh my god, you're a calculus three.
I remember that you read the end.
So?
And that was the moment that I checked out.
I fell asleep in class when I was reading Antigone.
Antigone was so boring. I think it could have been so much more interesting if we did tell it in a different way.
I think she's a great teacher. She's really tough.
Damn.
Like,
I had Mr. Lamb, little bald guy.
Love
Love that guy.
Isn't he like super easy to just like kind of bully? That's what I've heard.
He is. A lot of people don't like him. I like this guy.
I have heard that it's like super easy to just do anything in that class because he like doesn't actually like yell at you.
No, he doesn't yell. I don't know why he would.
So we watched a video about cicadas today.
wait, do you have a new one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was like, so I really like this video, and I thought all faculty would like this video. So I sent it to all
course
faculty.
you did.
And barely Mr. McGarvey bullied her because he hates blogs. He's like, who sent this video to the entirety of the faculty?
Miss Newman
I
loves
love
me.
it,
Mostly because I don't like the class. She's so cute though.
I mean, I like her and her class. But also,
Our group is gonna make her a biosphere for her room. I think she already has a couple actually. Maybe she has that big tank in the back.
I had just a bad start with a bad relationship with her from the start. So the first day of school, I walked in on time, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes before the bell, and the whole class was in there seated. She was already teaching. Every desk was full. I was like, what? And then I walked in and she's like, oh. She was like, oh, did I start class early? And I was just like, yeah.
well, I mean, you
And-
can't blame her for the sleep.
Oh no! But then I went and I sat at a stool in the back. I was sitting there since the beginning, and I took that class just for no reason in the first place. So now it's like
Is it IB or regular?
IB. Why did you take IB? I don't know.
Just cause.
Pretty much, yeah. Just
I
to put my
think
general when it's
315.
not.
Well, probably for Rose.
But you don't need more credit.
Is anything on the line?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna assume if I'm here by 3:15, I should be chill.
Wait, you guys too? Yes. And go get food.
Oh,
But that's
I gotta ask my mom.
why didn't you get prom this when you were younger? I was waiting for Sarah. She didn't show
Motherfucker,
up.
Wally. Motherfucker.
she's not gonna eat
I
it.
was 2 seconds away from asking for it.
Well, you should have just taken it.
For what?
I'm
The
not
bread.
the bread.
You want me to get you some bread?
I really hope that one of the dresses that's volunteered for Cooper fits.
They should.
And I'm just done with that.
Adios, amigos.
I do.
Oh, are we going to my car?
Do you want to? I don't want to.
You want to?
No.
I'm gonna come with you guys. I'm
Bro.
gonna get prom tickets.
Excuse me. Molly,
I didn't write my.
do you want me to retake that?
You look so dazed and confused.
I see you. Who's it going to?
Oh, Chris.
Fuck you, send it to me.
He sent me a picture of his face and it had quote unquote reading a book AF.
Dude,
Reading a book.
And he wrote it in shitty handwriting.
I hate him.
I hate him so much.
But he is also one of my favorite people.
Little Carnage friend.
I have him in my phone as the shrimp. The shrimp.
Oh, these right.
And Cargate, like,
Nice. You're Charles, you're Soap. Grace is Grace Bay. Chris is the Shran one, and Michael and Tristan are just interesting.
We need to find our name for that.
I know.
Shell. I don't know.
Tristan's just pussy with a kitty face. And Michael is Alvin from Alvin and Chip.
The entire
The full
thing.
thing,
Not
and it
just
doesn't
Alvin.
even fit all the way. That's so good. And then Charlie just spoke gay.
It's been that for like 4 years.
Yeah,
Like 4 years.
I'm checking everybody. Yours is just malls with flour.
Aww.
Grace is just fuck lunch.
You're gonna get a terrible, awful name, Molly. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm the only one Sophie actually likes.
I just don't want you guys to have boring names like just Michael. Come on. It's not fair.
Alvin, look at the homophobic post I just made. Simon. You haven't heard that audio?
I love that audio.
Okay,
It's a TikTok audio and it goes like, Alvin, look at the homophobic post I just made. And he goes, Simon, you've been doing this ever since I came out.
Doesn't he go, oh man, look at this little photo guy named Bitch.
Yes, it's bitch. You bitch.
Molly, you and Kristen have
I need to find a creative name for Molly. She needs
She's
to
so
eat
normal.
too.
She's so normal.
That's the second thing I was talking about.
Normal bestie.
Technically, Chris is the normal one.
Technically, but he's also.
He looks
so
like
awesome.
if you asked for his pronouns, he would say more/that. Except he would,
Do you know who Mr. Friend is?
yeah.
Chris says you looked like him in that picture.
That's a hate crime.
That's mean. Also, when you ask if she uses the brand,
I don't remember who it is.
He's the one that couldn't teach health because he's so
Yes.
voluptuous.
I'm sending this to him.
I said the same words to him already.
Send it. That was a hate crime.
You're just gonna send before mine, and this is gonna look good.
Nice.
Bird.
That was this.
Sounded like a bird.
Yeah, but everything was back then. I have a question. Are we allowed to walk in the hallway between my church? Just curious, because I was
Yeah.
because I was walking it wasn't lunch change, so that could have been why you stopped me, but stopped me between 9 and 10 when I was going to the Sam's room. You just sit there and do things, and he's like, you can't go this way. I'm going this way for 3 days.
Well, I was only doing it for the lunch change.
Yeah, I guess I'm
It's a big fat fucking piece of cheese. Look at that.
But it
Jesus
also
Christ,
shows
she's
me
meat.
how much. It was like this long, like this cheese.
First of all, public block is huge.
I didn't on it. So it just sat on my phone.
Nice. I didn't put it on his phone.
No, you put it on my mouse pad.
And he got
I
triggered.
didn't want it on my mouse pad. So I
Triggered gamer moment.
You know that I hate you.
Yeah, I don't really care though. Me questioning whether to change Charlie's name. I don't even know what I'd change it to. Prince Charles? Like,
Not old. I'm doing that right now.
That's not funny.
It's very
That's
funny.
not funny.
I wish we
Prince
had
Charles
somebody.
the colonizer.
I'm not a colonizer.
You're white.
True.
Gotta kill the babies.
Free.
Oh, it all fits.
What does that
Prince
say?
Charles the colonizer.
I'm sorry, where's the funny at? I don't.
Well, Molly thinks it's funny, and that's all the only opinion that I care about.
I really am the only person who renders she likes.
I like Chris enough.
Enough to talk to him.
Chris is my
in
babe.
class.
But in the hierarchy, I'm above Chris.
The
Right?
hierarchy. There's no fucking hierarchy.
My friend,
That's not fair. I can't place you guys in movies.
I put down my toes.
I'll take something for some baby lyric.
What?
You said my drip goes down to my toes.
No, I was just talking about my anthem crossing.
Charlie, you were officially Prince Charles the colonizer. Chris said, yes, I agree, but the facts stand. Never make the Fran's face again.
You were kidding.
Okay, first off.
Oh no. Oh my god, wait. Okay, you guys need to come here and read this because it's like a 2-second video. Oh no, what? You can see too.
I hate him. I hate him so much.
Will I kill myself because of that? Maybe.
Awesome. What if that? What if that
So
was
my hair falling out was fun.
That was my favorite.
What?
That was my favorite.
Yes, ma'am.
I mixed it.
I kind of want to make a list of
13 reasons. Chris is,
But, like,
Chris is number one. Should've done
It's
that.
just number 1, Chris, number 2, Chris, number 3, Chris, number 4, Chris.
They're all just Chris quotes. Let's go is number one.
I said I showed everyone we all hate you. Perfect.
You should have screen recorded that.
I don't know how to do that. I do be having an Android though. Yeah.
You got your what? 39?
Yeah.
What happened?
What? You're just thinking about it?
Also, I noticed that, like, in almost all my Snapchats that I send, I always look, like, slightly scared.
I mean, you didn't look scared now when you were like smiling.
Also, Molly, you do this one a lot.
I do that one a lot.
Yeah, but, like, why? I just, like, widen my eyes. Like, that's
I
all I
love
do.
the streaks you send me every morning because you look so busted. Respectfully.
If I look busted, I just take a picture of my shoe.
You wake up and all your hair is on one side of your head. I'm like, all right.
I always send it to you first thing in the morning, baby.
I know.
I always put mine in a bun before I sleep.
I do not do that.
None of us do that. It hurts my hell.
You do it loosen up, it shouldn't.
I'm gonna fail this bio test.
Honestly, I failed all of them except for like 2.
Huh?
Not even
Did you happen to pass chapter 27?
No. The one I passed was the beginning of the year. What was 27 about?
Also, I have my guided reading, Billy. You don't have to keep looking at Quizlet. Yeah, I noticed.
Not the Quizlet.
That was Quizlet.
I got trauma from Quizlet.
Quizlet has saved my ass so many times.
It's saved my ass,
It's
but I was-
currently saving my ass in Bible. From having a D, actually.
I don't remember what my final grade in bio was.
My final class score was a 71.
It's race week.
Sorry. Oh my gosh.
I was gonna say it's
See, I never would have expected you to be the type of person that enjoys racing. Like the one thing.
Hard go fast, make my brain go burp.
I like how you matched your shoes to that color on your sweater. Thank you.
That
I don't
wasn't
think it was
even
intentional.
intentional.
My brain,
Never mind.
was that smart. So good. I'm not reading it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Chill out, Bessie.
No.
Dude, if I ever see Miss O'Neill again, I'll pass out on the
Miss who?
spot.
Hi. Are you guys at lunch?
Yeah.
Are you guys mid or math?
I'm not in his math class.
Yeah,
but-
him or.
Yeah, but I see lunch in here.
Can you tell me where the later transcendentals are? Because the book says early transcendentals on the cover. So where are the later ones? Come on, Billy.
I have no idea.
Come on, Billy.
Probably somewhere.
You gotta know the answer to this.
I think it's in one of the bottom shelves.
Your book?
Yeah.
You don't have, yeah. I just call that later math because I have no idea what early transcendentals are. I don't know what multivariable is. I don't know what any of that stuff is. So later math.
Sophia, did I ever show you this?
No.
I love them.
Wow, close it.
Oh my god, I saw windshield wipers over the weekend that were like frogs on the windshield wiper and they're swept.
I need you guys to read all of them.
Okay, make sure you tell the rest of the breakfast club I said hi about them.
So awful.
Merry Christmas.
Or Happy New Year.
Every sentence.
Who's who? Ask him who's who. Oh my way.
There's too many of us.
Wait, did you put barbecue sauce in your?
Yes, it makes the green beans better. I was gonna eat them, but then you guys were like, oh, let's go now. So I hadn't eaten them. I don't know if I'm gonna eat them now.
Okay. Really hard to tell who I would be.
No, not at all. Who would I be though?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Who?
We're trying.
This calls us the breakfast club.
We have to stick to genders? No. Okay, then that makes more sense.
You don't drink milk, Jimmy?
Not all those cartons. Stuffy cartons. Oh, yes.
Nah, man.
Yes.
It's good.
Not until it's not. You get food poisoning.
You can tell when it's bad and then you just spit it out. It's usually chunky.
Guys, why is your second round so much better than the first? Why do you
I
think the
know.
first ones have fewer bugs? There's only one.
Are they really better?
Yeah.
Ew, that was.
I love it.
It's because they take them right off the thing when they get them.
God damn it, Sophia, now I want to do something.
You want what?
I want to please.
I was talking to them. Why they made the bottoms of the Capri Sun clear.
Automatically doesn't definitely teach.
No.
Yeah, just give me my nuggets.
My nose.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, good. Go.
Yeah, tonight's gonna be stupid, and it's also raining now, so I swear if it's raining later.
Okay, so he says he
Just
doesn't
as a
have
gift
any
emitter.
more analogies, and no further elaboration will be provided. Okay, thank you.
What?
No more elaboration.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, Billy. So Mama says thanks, but I say fuck you. Fuck you, Chris.
Yeah. Poor Chris.
All right, F you, Chris, on my phone. Why did that scare me? I'm right here.
stuff's too
Then
weird.
just don't.
I'm gonna go take a nap and then you
Just stay home. Just like leave now.
And that's the worst thing about my next class is if they do.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
Aaron, Jared,
What's
Aaron.
that? Is it still bad?
Why would he not be it?
I have to hang out with him pretty often now. I've been calling my friends.
I gotta go. I can't
For me,
really
energy,
get
I
here.
That's just the other thing.
Yeah, he's not bad with his girlfriend though, but he smokes a lot.
Oh my god, he asked one of my friends out last year.
Sometimes. It's just like Jackson.
That's sexy.
He asked one of my friends out of the class last year, and like the only like times that they like conversed was to like talk about homework. And he would always ask her for answers. She was like, yeah, sure, and then and then he was like, hey, can I ask you a question? He asked her to like stay after class so she could like, he could ask her and she was like, sure. And she waited for him and then he didn't show up. So she was like, all right. And then he just texted her later and he was like, do you want to go out with me? And she was like, so she said no.
The stories of
He said why? She
kids
was
pick
like,
up lines from freshman year.
I hated him freshman year.
I sat right next to him in lunch.
He got behind me and helped. He always fucked with me.
There's stories from like baseball
Oh God, don't tell me.
that Mitchell have told me. Oh my God, they
He told me that his least favorite amendment is the 19th, and he thinks it gets repealed, which is the one that gave women the right to vote.
You just idiot.
And he constantly used my hair color as a way to like insult my intelligence.
What?
He was like, it's always the blondes and the redheads, and then he looked right at me. And he was like, what the fuck, bro?
what? That's just the blonde.
No, it's definitely just the redhead.
Really?
Stupid
You
gingers.
too?
No, gingers aren't necessarily dumb. They're just not also necessarily smart. Whereas blondes are necessarily dumb.
Huh?
Oh my God.
Like you know a blonde's dumb because they're blonde.
I think I have brown hair now. It's not blonde anymore, right?
I think you're blonde and you're very intelligent.
I don't know. Joe's kind of stupid sometimes.
I think it's the brunettes, but specifically like male brunettes. Emily's smart.
So,
No, Emily.
Thanks, guys.
The only smart people have gray hair.
or no hair.
Or no hair.
Like Snyder.
Like Snyder.
Snyder
Snyder has an aura to him.
Snyder's really smart.
That's also true.
That man's like an actual genius, I would say.
I want to see him draw a circle again. I'm not gonna lie. Something about it. That's not from him. I just kind of want to go into his room and demand that he draws a circle.
Let's go with him.
Alright.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
No. Hold on. Shut up. Shut up.
The chicken stiglets really that much better.
Yeah, you know?
Oh dang, they're actually like warm.
Yeah, they're warm and they taste great in the bar. They taste so much better in the bar.
Yeah, these taste a lot better. Damn.
Well, because they just put them on the plate when we got out there.
Maybe from now on we should wait to get lunch.
Fuck no. Let's continue.
I agree. No, I agree with that. I think we should wait.
So we should come here to wait and then go get it.
Oh, whoops. You guys are streaming on the internet.
Were we really?
Yeah.
I don't think anything bad was said.